Hello, everyone. My name's Hank Suttalo,
And I'm Casey McBride.
and we're here with another fun episode of Stir Crazy Shamans. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. And we have very exciting news. You can now watch the stream live on our own website. So wherever you're seeing the stream from, wherever it's streaming to, if you want to know that we're going to see your comments, just head over to stircrazyshamans.com. Right on the homepage, you'll see the stream, including the ability to comment. I'm very excited.
Oh, we should. I just realized we should put that underneath us in this picture that we always have behind us.
We probably should. But
For next one.
Yeah, for the next one. That's a great idea. Why didn't we do it sooner?
So I have, it's funny. I think we've talked about this briefly on an episode before, but I seem to very much sync up sometimes energetically with the cycles of the moon. And like whenever there's a full moon, like a few days before and a few days after, I'm always really high energy. And I'm sitting here this morning and I'm just like in the shower and like getting ready and having breakfast. And like my energy level is like way higher than it needs to be for just a laid back morning. And I look and I go on my phone because I have no idea what the moon's doing. And so I asked Google when the next full moon was, and sure enough, it's in like a couple days. And it always seems like, yeah, like full moon is crazy high energy, and then new moon, some kind of old pattern or something comes up to be released. I tend to notice.
Yeah, that's kind of the natural cycle of the moon. It varies a little bit for everyone depending on where their moon falls in their chart. Like for me, I was born on the full moon, so every full moon I get something new to work with. And then on the new moon is when I personally get to anchor it in a different way and change it. But some people are opposite. They might get their inspiration on a new moon or on a quarter moon. Everyone's a little different with that. So pretty fun stuff. Oh, and what was I going to say? It just went poof. I had something.
No, now it's happening to you. It used to happen to me like every episode.
So for anybody watching, if you know anyone specifically that does numerology, I would love to get someone with numerology on the show, because Casey has been seeing some same number patterns, and he sent me a link for a website about what that might mean. But I thought we could also see about maybe getting someone that does numerology on the show to do a little guest appearance. I have someone in mind, but if anybody knows of someone, certainly put in the comments. We'll maybe reach out and see if they're willing to come on and talk a little bit about numerology and how you can use numerology to actualize, manifest in your life, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been seeing 9/11 a lot. I know it only comes around on the clock twice a day, but sometimes it seems like even more than that. But yeah, 9/11 I've been seeing, and I looked up. We have, I think, like at least in our society, there's some negative associations with that number. Like it's the number we call for emergencies, and then there was the tragedy of 9/11 and all that. But I was like, I feel like that's totally off. Like that's not the message this is trying to convey. And sure enough, I pulled up like a few links just to see what they said, and it's all like along the lines of like new levels of awareness and like powerful manifestation and like all this like amazing, awesome stuff. So I don't know, it was cool. But the link that I sent Hank was like 7 different things that 9/11 might mean, and to me they were all along the same lines.
Right. I was going to mention that too. It looks like the first like 4 or 5 is really the same energy, just being explained a little bit differently.
Yeah, and it definitely resonated with me a lot. So yeah, but I always notice it a lot. Well, in the morning I'll notice it at some point usually, but then in the evening it's like right when I'm ready to go to bed. It's like 9/11, and then I'm like, ooh, all right, I'm gonna go to bed and like work on some energy stuff. So it's been interesting. Hank, are you distracted? Or are you frozen?
It's cut out.
Oh, you're frozen.
You just noticed?
Hank, my old
I was frozen a lot longer than that.
Oh, there you are. And now you're a little choppy. And pixelated.
Oh boy. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm going to close the stream out. You can talk.
And you're frozen again, so I am just going to talk. I don't know if you're saying anything right now, but we can't hear you. So anyway, but I had there's a lot we've been sort of working. One of the themes, I guess, in this 9/11 thing that the messages that I sort of read about what the meanings were is that like some sort of new like big life chapter is going to start, and a lot of it was around like reaching people with like a spiritual message and all of that. And yeah, of course, we've been working on the Stir Crazy Shamans podcast, but also there's just in sort of the background of my awareness, my energy field, I have been feeling this super powerful, how to explain it? There's like so much potential. I can feel the potential of like all these ideas and like workshops and ways to connect with people and reach people on a much bigger scale than I have been. And Hank is working right along with me to help actualize all of that. And yeah, and then I start getting these 9/11 signs all over the place. And sure enough, that's exactly along the lines of, oh, here's Hank.
Now I'm on the wrong side. No, I think my internet crashed and I had to do some 5911s and then it's working again.
Well, that's good.
Maybe I should have done a 911. I don't know. 911. Well, no. Oh my gosh. Is that like, was that Spirit's way of getting us to talk about numbers? So since that it was in access consciousness, there's all these number things, and when you have technology going awry, you do. It's like you find if you like count numbers and then throw your hands down, like you build up a certain type of energy, and then you use it. I wouldn't play with it nonchalantly, but 5, 9, 11, that combination is really good when technology is going wild. So you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then once you practice, it's just 5, 9, 11. And you'll find that for whatever reason, that kind of shifts the energy and allows technology to work or things to not go haywire. So well, at least it worked for me just now. And maybe that could be a tool for you.
9/11 again. See, it's popping up all over the place for me. What is going on?
Yeah. Well, maybe 9/11 is... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we got some people watching. Who's in on the numerology stuff? Who wants to come on and talk numerology? Someone be brave. I know someone out there knows.
Well, I know someone that's really good. I'm going to reach out to her and see if she'll come on. But what was really coming to me with how we use it in Access and how it was a catalyst for so much to change when there was like the 9/11 terror attacks or whatnot. Maybe that is just a sign for immense change, but not just any change. The change about shifting into like a more refined place of consciousness, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I get this something I've never I've noticed number patterns in the past. I used to see 11/11 a lot, and then I stopped really paying attention to it. But and it's not something that ever really, really powerfully interested me as far as like learning, because I'm just not a numbers person. Like my head doesn't really work with numbers. I mean, even just like basic addition and subtraction when trying to like make change and stuff, I can get by, but my brain isn't the most comfortable with it. But yeah, but then I don't know, just like I said, it started to pop up so often that I was like, all right, I maybe need to start looking into this a little bit. But and I can hear myself, Hank, echoing in the background a lot again. Are you plugged into that one?
Well, I mean, I am, but I don't know why that would make a difference now. But I'll try.
It does for some reason. So yeah, sometimes when we get this feedback echoey thing, I just broke Hank. Oh no, he's back. He froze again. Oh, we're having all kinds of wonderful technology fun today. I'm just gonna watch him. This is fascinating to see the facial expressions.
No, I'm back. I don't know if the echo's gone, but I'm back.
Hello. Echo. Yep, it's gone.
Okay, so Spirit is really messing with us this morning. Oh man, this hasn't happened since that like one episode like where we actually switched places, like just with the entity that showed up.
Well, to be fair,
where's Magic Mike when you need him to?
To be fair,
yeah, we usually have one. Wow, this is just odd. We usually don't talk over each other like that either.
No,
like the whole lady thing is different. There is today apparently.
Okay, interesting. It may just be the energy. Like I said, my energy level is crazy high right now. Maybe that's interfering
Okay.
with
So
the technology.
when there's technology being interfered by people of high energy, a technique that we can use, because apparently this is a topic today, is you just visualize, if you ever got served at a real fancy restaurant or saw it on TV, how they bring your plate with that little dome, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you just imagine like putting like a protective little dome, like a bell jar, just put it right over your technology. So I'm doing my computer now, doing the iPad now, doing the camera, doing my speaker system, doing it all to the technology out there that's interfacing servers and all that, just with the intention that whatever is occurring, this little bell jar is going to protect it from the crazy energy that apparently Casey is shooting out of his aura.
Oh man. Yeah, well, you look. Your image quality just got a lot better having done that as well. It's not as pixelated. So
There you go. Wise are the ways of the spirits.
yes. Linda says, I use angel numbers every day. My favorite website to use is secretofthetarot.com. Linda, do you know what's up with 9/11? What's Celia? Oh.
Maybe spirit is just going to show, or maybe it's one of those energies that it continues to unfold and unfold and unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Yeah.
I think numerically, well, maybe this is a new master number. Perhaps it's not supposed to be broken down. Like normally in numerology, you break it down. Like the 9/11 would become like an 11, which you would then make a. I think 11's a master number actually, so that would be something to look up. Like when you have just a 2-digit number, the same number, I don't think you break it down. So I don't know numerology enough, though. I went to see this one lady. Her name was Patty, and she put my name out and did her numerology thing, and it was like this reading that just blew me away. I was like, wow, I never realized you could use numerology to this degree of detail and accuracy. It's probably like you when you got your first astrology reading, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, that blew me away. I was like, oh my goodness. I my knowledge of astrology was like I'd read a little bit about what Aries meant because I'm an Aries. And then, I knew like there were horoscopes, and that was like all I really knew. But then, yeah, I had like multiple people tell me they're like, yeah, I could read your astrology chart. And then the one guy did, and it was just so many points that he hit on were just like beyond accurate. It was wild.
Very cool. And if anyone has any questions, I know Linda brought up the angel numbers, but if anyone has a question or a place where you want our discussion to flow, feel free to make a comment and we'll see like where it takes us, because it definitely feels a little crazy today, which is good. I like crazy.
Oh, and speaking of, I don't know why I'm saying speaking of, I just remembered I need to share this to my page. Or I don't need to, but I am going to. It's streaming directly to Stir Crazy Shamans, right?
Yeah, you can share from there. It is going as a cross post over to Shaman's Way as well. And for those of you just joining us, I've been working on making our website, the actual Stir Crazy Shaman website, Stir Crazy Shaman's website rather. And I found a way that I have the live video going directly to the page with the ability to comment right below. So you can always go to our page to make a comment. You don't have to do it in Facebook. Just head over to Stir Crazy Shamans, and then all the video shows are archived there. I'm working on the audio. I have about 25 more audio shows to convert and upload as an MP3s. But then you'll also find on the show, there's links on the right-hand side where it will take you to everywhere where you could use the audio. So it'll take you to the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play podcasts. There's a couple other ones that we use. So it's a lot of opportunities and different ways to use the shows, and transcripts will be coming a little bit later, but that will be happening too from the hosting service we're using. So I'm very excited about this. It's not going to know what to do with the Quechua though. He's no joke. We've only had it up like that for a week, and it's already had 190 downloads of the audio content from from the podcasting servers, not from our website, but it's still pretty significant for only having it out for a week. Yes, so I'm happy with that.
Oh, all right.
Does it feel just me, or does it feel like we're still recovering from whatever was happening technologically?
Yeah, it does. Oh man.
Oh, and the very first non-live video, there's going to be a second one posted shortly, but we went out in nature on Sunday. We actually got to go out with Jameson and got to be in the metro parks and do a beautiful, well, we did a 45-minute or so Stir Crazy Shaman episode, which we opened with Sacred Space. It was kind of like a heaviness cleansing of how I did the opening, and did a really great show on manifesting and abundance. So if you want to go and see where we are actually in person and interacting, go check out the one that we uploaded. Actually uploaded Monday because it took that long to upload that video. It took like 6 hours. It was crazy. But it's there for you if you'd like. Though Casey tells me I need a microphone when we go out to the woods because I am a little soft-spoken. And even when I was projecting, it was sometimes harder to hear me. Oh, Linda gave a huge comment here. There we go.
Fit on the screen.
Man, we can't even see us. It's that big of a comment. The spiritual meaning of angel number 911 in 911, the power of one, is doubled because it appears twice in succession. Interestingly, the angel number 11 itself deals with self-realization, illumination, and enlightenment. When 1 or 11 is positioned next to the power of 9, the suggestion is that your mission is to share your own illumination with others, to lead and to guide. So when we take 911 as a whole, so many incredible aspects are suggested. It's a deeply karmic number that encourages ... And I assume that there's a second big comment coming from Linda. But now that she says that, for those of you who don't know, I do sound therapy, and I have like 400 tuning forks in my office, roundabout, and there's one set called the Archangel set, and the first 10 are for angels like Metatron, Gabriel, Raphael, all these different ones, and then number 11, I forget the name for it, but it is the basically like the energy that holds the universe together. It's that Holy Spirit energy, I suppose. And then 12 is called the Holy Host, and it's the combined frequencies of all the archangels. And I'm just wondering if that 11 number, because they actually put the numbers on them, there's a significance with numerology to the numbers of the angels, and that one that holds the field together and like basically makes everything possible is 11.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but the whole self-realization, illumination, and then sharing your light with others thing. Yes, that's like, that's what we're doing. They're crazy shamans, and then I've been saying that a lot lately to people, is that I love the spiritual stuff that I'm a part of all of the time, like the readings, my ability to communicate with spirit guides, the beauty that I see when I open up my sight, and just the powerful energies that I feel, and the incredible experiences we can have just by tuning our perception to a slightly different frequency. Reality is so much more powerfully magical and amazing than a lot of people are willing to allow themselves to realize. And so what I've been saying to a lot of people lately is that I really want to just share that with as many people as possible. I want as many people as possible to be in this space of realizing how incredibly powerfully magic reality is. And so that message there, and a lot of the other ones I read, are right along with that. And it's sort of, I think, continuing to reaffirm that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to keep going in this direction to help to teach people to discover this magic for themselves.
I love that. Discover the magic for yourself, because it's all out there. I did get a comment on the Facebook Live. Shauna was asking, can you see these comments? We cannot see the comments unless you're commenting on the Facebook stream of Stir Crazy Shaman's Facebook page, the YouTube link, or now we are live streaming to our website. So if you go to stircrazyshamans.com, right on the homepage, when you scroll down, if you click play, that video is the live stream, and there is a field below that to comment, and those comments would roll over to see in studio. So if you want to make a comment, you can go to our webpage and do it there. So
is that Shauna?
Shauna, yeah.
Shauna, I sent you a message. You didn't respond this morning. Hopefully that's good for you. I'm not going to say what it's about, because I don't think we need to share that, but.
Well, you wouldn't even need to say that if.
Oh, what just happened? Am I seeing things? I thought I just saw a comment pop up and then disappear. Did that happen or no?
Not on my side.
Okay, well.
But you could be in a very different reality than I.
That's a cool topic. I have been realizing lately, and Hank has helped me to realize this more, that when we come together, our realities do kind of converge and we experience the same or similar experiences. But I really do think, and I've known conceptually, but now I have a lot more direct experience with it, that, one, we create our realities, but they're not necessarily like the same reality that we're all experiencing all the time. And how do I give an example? Okay, so I was on a hike with my cousin the other day. And he has a dog that he is like a new dog puppy that he like rescued from a shelter. And we were on a hike through the metro parks, and the dog's kind of really skittish around certain people, especially like men. And I think my cousin was he was focused on like people's like sort of people's perception of the dog and vice versa. And me and his girlfriend, who we were the other people hiking with him, we were just kind of having a good time, like, and all that stuff, and he was too. But then we would come across people, and they would like say something like, "Oh," maybe make a comment about the dog. And to me and his girlfriend, it was just real light and pleasant, and we were having a good hike. And then he stops and he's like, "Wow, so many people have said that my dog is aggressive on this hike." Me and his girlfriend looked at him like, "What? When did that happen?" And he's like, "Well, when we met that one guy that you knew, like your accountant, who met my like accountant on the hike," and he said he's like, "Wow, she looks really aggressive." And we were like, "No, he said this." And then me and her both had a completely different thing that he said, and he was like, "No, I remember. This is what he said. He said she looks aggressive." And so he kind of got upset for a second that we didn't believe him, that what he was telling us his experience was. But I think for sure in his reality, that's what he heard and experienced, and we were on a different reality. Although we were having a similar experience, there were certain aspects of that were completely different. And I have noticed that does happen a lot.
And one of my biggest examples for that, where I had started to become aware of it, and also this awareness that as you have your experience, if you run into someone and they give you a different point of view and you buy into it, it retroactively like ripples throughout your reality, and then that becomes so for you. And
Yeah.
as an example of this, and when that happens, it's like fleeting like a dream. Like the whole world just changed for a moment, and then you forget that it changed. But if you really start to watch for it, you'll like notice like, wow, this like weird stuff, even like doors being in different places on my house I've noticed before, and it's like, wow, this is just bizarre. The ceiling's different today. But Melissa, who owns Goddess Elite, and myself, we were at a holiday vendor show at my wife's company, and we were down, they had it at the lower level, and her and I are both on our phones. We have our Square reader set up, and we're ready to take credit cards and everything, and we had internet. She comes down and says, "Oh, by the way, there's no cell service down in the lower level. You'll need the Wi-Fi codes." And in that moment, both of our phones stopped working. And so that was not our experience. We had internet. We were both ready to go. We had everything set up. And in that moment, both of them fried, and we had to log into the Wi-Fi in order to have internet. So, but in our reality, that was the case up until the collective consciousness out manifested us.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing. And and I say how to put it, when I first started to come back and see clients in person for shamanic healing and massage, I've been talking to people like you, Hank, like just people like us who are very much like, we know that we control our reality, so we want to manifest as much beauty and magic as possible. So that's what we're focused on and thinking about and talking about, and all this possibility. And then I went back to the office that first day, and it was like all these people were talking about was just like the horrible state of the world and how things are so chaotic. And I'm like, wow, really? Like, that hasn't been my reality. My reality has been beautiful and wonderful and full of joy. And so I really, I'm like, when I meet with these people, I think I'm like converging with part of their timeline for a second, and then I go separate ways. And like I don't know, like maybe does that stuff actually exist when I'm not focused on it? Who knows? But there are people who even like claim to be like really, how do you put it, like very spiritual, and well, I mean, they think they are, but they're like the conspiracy theorist type, and not just like fun conspiracy theories, but like these like reptilian overlords that are taking over, and all the chaos and like horrible stuff that's always happening in the background that we're not aware of, and all that stuff. And I think where was I going with that?
I don't know, but if you like that, stay up for Midnight Meanderings tonight with Brian. Brian is very much in that world, and people have actually said they like him and I on together because I rein him in a little bit, so he can still, because that is a lot of people's reality, and
Right.
so he's
Well,
speaking about it, and yeah.
So that's what I was going to say. So, yeah, so in those people's reality, all that stuff is very much real, and they're, but you know, we're all creating a reality. So if you choose to focus on that kind of thing, then you're going to see it everywhere, and it's going to be a very, very vivid, real part of your experience. And you know, on some level, there isn't a direct energy that you know exists behind that, but also if you choose to focus on the light and joy and love, and that like everything is just beautiful and a magical adventure, then that's going to be your reality too. And whether we're aware of it or not, we are creating a reality. So you know, I think that we need to all start to become a little more mindful of the things that we are consciously focusing on, or just start consciously focusing in the first place, because a lot of people don't.
I was going to go and try to read something that speaks to this a little bit, but as soon as I went on another tab, my whole technology world started. I started hearing my voice pixelate and all kinds of stuff, so I can't go do it. But I believe it's on the webpage. It's on Michelle's Facebook, Come Home to Your Heart. And it's probably a month or so back. It was around the same time she came on for our Crystal Skull episode. And what she was putting on this post, which was really resonated with me, is that the whole world is focused on a single event right now with the pandemic, and the whole country is focused on a single event right now. And as these big things come up that all these people are focusing on, it's causing realities to start merge and collapse into one another. And so it was just a point I wanted to bring up, that because we do have this intense focus in the world, the crossing of realities and dimensions and the awareness of this happening.
Oh, Hank, you froze. Hank is frozen with a really beautiful, funny look on his face. I don't know if that's the same for everyone else. Maybe it's just my reality, and I'm just talking to B right now. I don't know. Oh, you're back.
Yeah. Did you hear anything I just said?
No.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Something about reality is, and then you were frozen with your face like.
Yeah, if I ever run for office, that's going to be the picture that they put up. My opponents put up. This is the goofy shaman you're voting for.
Oh.
No, maybe that was just another reality crashing in, and that's when we were experiencing that. No, but in summary, in case I didn't say everything I had intended, and the short of it is that because the whole collective of humanity is, or a lot of the humanity is focused on certain single events, it's creating the space where our realities can converge, and we're having more of a one-ality type of experience, because it allows, since all the attention's on one thing, realities can coalesce and kind of the two bubbles can become one, and we're more living in the same world as we were before, potentially. That was just one point of view from that post.
And I think maybe that'll teach us a lesson, that we can have this sort of intense focus to, because that's the, you know, people start to talk about, you know, like, oh man, like 2020, like what's coming next? What a horrible disaster is after this one? And then look, more and more and more keep happening. And so maybe it'll get some people to start to realize, like, wow, look what happens when we collectively focus on something. We can manifest the most powerful, intense chaos, or we can choose to not do that. We can choose to manifest as a collective, just beautiful. Go ahead.
I just got a clearing. This is something I saw just recently. Someone posted, "It's always something," right? So it's always something. It's always something. It's always something. And I replied to their post, "What if it's the belief that it's always something that creates the always something?"
Yes.
And all that is pot and pock that, because if we do always think that there's always something comes up that takes away this or that, just even that focusing on that belief is telling the universe, yep, something always comes up. So we got this one going now, and then I saw someone release, okay, well, the pandemic's dying down, release the murder hornets, you know, and it's always something. But what if that always something could be beautiful and magical? What if we
Right.
started to create the space for that to come back to your point of
Oh
focus on
yeah.
what you want to bring more of into your life instead of the seeing anything as negative is really the only Satan. That's an acronym for Satan, seeing anything as negative. So think about that every time you have a quote unquote judgment of a negative thought.
Well, one of my so you said some people say like, oh, that's always something. But one of my things that I like to say all the time is, I always have abundance. The universe always provides for me in abundance, and like just different phrases like that, and that's always the case for me. So yeah, just be a little more conscious of the things that you say. And I saw this great quote on I don't know if it was Facebook or Reddit, but it was a picture of Bruce Lee, and it was a quote by him. He said, uh, never talk down about yourself, never say anything bad about yourself, even as a joke, because your body can't tell the difference. Right. And and because a lot of people do, they'll like put themselves down sort of just out of like, they think like out of like humor or whatever. And your body doesn't understand that you're doing that out of humor. It just hears the horrible things you're saying about yourself. And we're even outside of the brain, our bodies, as we've been talking about the past few episodes, are these giant, basically liquid crystals, being mostly water. And so whatever we say and think about gets stored in the physiology of our body as well. And then, of course, we start to create our reality to match that whatever vibration we're putting into our body. So yeah, hold yourself in the highest regard. See yourself as just the most beautiful, powerful, incredible being that you are.
Absolutely. As you were saying, something popped in my head and then it went poof. That's twice today that's happened to me.
There was something going on in the ether, man.
No, because about all the episodes, we've only really had issues. I think 3 times, like major issues, while we were on a broadcast with stuff going on. So it's very interesting.
Maybe it's because you're on the other side of the screen and it's throwing you off, Hank.
I don't know. Should we switch? Do you think? No, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, that was a joke, but who knows? Maybe.
Maybe we should taunt the spirit world. Maybe they should switch us like that one time. No.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it without removing us from the screen, so we'll just skip it. I'm okay with being on the right side because I'm on the right side now.
Oh, all right. Are we fizzling out? What's going on?
I don't know. Is there any questions? I know we have some people that have endured our technology things. Oh, there was something I wanted to bring up, actually.
Okay.
So for when we were out on Sunday for our nature walk, it was a combination, actually getting to do an episode in person, but we also did this beautiful despacho ceremony as part of our shamanic apprenticeship program. And our teacher, Don Zane Kerfman, because of the nature of how things are rolling out in the world, he has made a virtual apprenticeship. And so that is actually starting on Thursday. And anybody's interested, it's on our website. If you go to stircrazyshamans.com, you'll see virtual apprenticeship. It's a 20-week apprenticeship, but you also will get access to the 6-week mini course. So it's like a total of 26 live streamed lessons. All of them are part lecture and then part experience, where he walks you through some sort of exercise. And then there's a couple supplemental videos and a Facebook group where you get to interact. And if you want to look him up, his name is Don Zane Kerfman. He's the author of Inca Mountain Magic. And I can just speak personally that since I started studying with him, just everything has changed exponentially. So if you're looking for something for inner refinement, for growth, for possibility, couldn't recommend it enough. And it's Casey's first time through, so he might have a little bit of a less biased opinion if you want to speak to a little bit about the program.
Yeah, no, Zane is just the first time I met him. I can see and feel energy, and his energy is so powerfully bright and strong, but he's also extremely grounded, and that to me spoke volumes. Because there are a lot of people who have very powerful energy, but they are just kind of all over the place and spacey and like not really. But he is just, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, through the seemingly simple exercises that he teaches, like practicing those on a regular basis have been just immensely transformative. Like one of the techniques we learned, I think we've guided people through once on the show before, is called the Saman Chakui. It's like a running of just light energy to clear out the heaviness. Relatively simple process, but the effect that it's had on me has been so immense. And just some of the things, some of the things I'm listening to Zane talk about. In the moment, maybe it seems like, okay, all right, yeah,
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
okay. I'll be thinking, that makes sense, or that's kind of interesting, whatever. And then it sort of hits me like this realization, something that he said will just click, and all of these lights go off, and maybe all of these things that I've been practicing in a certain way are not, like, have been completely shifted just based on like one little sentence that he said. It's really amazing the way he's able to like portray these ancient teachings. So yeah, it's really, really incredible.
Yeah. And he also has a book on Amazon, or actually it's on, I think I put it in our on the About Us page. I have a link to it. If you go to our website and click that, it goes to Amazon to buy the book. But it's called Inca Mountain Magic, and even that, it's like basically a mystic's guide to ascension, and it gives you exercises in the book even that are wonderful to do and learn. I don't think Casey's read the book yet, but it's definitely well, actually I've never read the book. I've skimmed through it and looking for stuff I need to look up, but I've never read it cover to cover. But a lot of people speak very highly of it, including me. I do use it as a reference a lot.
Well, I told Zane when we meet next in person, I'm going to buy it from him personally instead of going through Amazon. But then, yeah, I also, some part of me wants to not read it and go through the apprenticeship first and then read it afterwards.
Yeah, well, that was my thing. Like, after I went through the apprenticeship, I would look it up to look up catch a word or for something, because he does talk about the chumpy stones and different things like that, which is like rare to find in text. In fact, that's how I found Zane. I was looking for someone to teach me how to use chumpy stones, because I was gifted a set and I had no clue how to use them. And you just don't, the information you do find out there, it's referencing chakras, and it's not like, that was after the Spanish influence. It's not like the original teachings of the chumpy awe, which is what Zane teaches in the program. So cool. And Joseph said synchronistic. He was just looking for online classes. Would you imagine that? Yeah. And one of the funnest things with it is just like the online group interaction. We have like, I think 24 people in the group, because this was all people that were intending to do the in-person apprenticeship, which is in Cleveland over 6 weekends. And then because of COVID, we had to not meet the first weekend or the second weekend, and we're going to be cramming like 2 weekends worth of initiations, maybe more, into the first time we can meet live, just to catch up. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and the group is really supportive of one another, so it's also a bit of a community that you get involved with as well.
Yeah, it's been so magical already. All right. Well, I think maybe that's
it. Get 60 seconds to ask a question if you want to ask a question. Other than that, we will wrap it up. Any final thought for the day while we give them an opportunity to make a comment if they like?
Yeah, I don't know. We've been all over the place, haven't we?
We haven't. But that's okay, like the energy of the day, maybe that's just another sign of what's happening in the world, a micro reflection of all the little chaos. But if you are in the chaos and you follow the energy, you navigate the course and you still do the show.
Exactly.
So it's a little metaphor for life.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. We talked about a little bit of numerology, a little bit of like realities converging, and I don't know what else, but trying to in my head come up with some like summarizing statement, and my brain just doesn't want to do it.
Don't force it. Don't hurt yourself. We need to do a show tomorrow too.
My head's gonna explode if I try too hard. Yeah, good stuff.
And I guess my final thought is, if you are thinking about the program and you've been impacted from COVID or whatnot, there is a little email address there that if you feel called to take it, but you don't feel that you have the means, please reach out. And we are trying to work with people as best we can based on their unique circumstances. So feel free to reach out if that is you, if you really feel the call, but it just isn't potentially a reality for you based on your situation. Don't let that stop you. Look to actualize through that and reach out and see what we might be able to co-create together. But with that, Okay.
subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. We go on sort of different times. It's usually in the morning, sometimes not, but usually in the morning, but never really at the exact same time. So if you hit the notification button after you subscribe, you will get notified when we are going live.
Right, which is also important because like today I scheduled the live stream for 9:30 p.m. by accident.
Right.
And then so if you had paid attention to that and you didn't get notifications, then you would have missed the broadcast. In fact, maybe a lot of people did.
The fun with technology started before we even met each other.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. And then, another fun thing on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to be adding this to the website as well eventually, since I know how to do it now. But from Casey's channel, Shaman's Way, I made a playlist of all the meditations that he's ever done. So I think there's like 9 meditations, or there's meditations plus he did like a song for fire, singing in light language, and he was doing like a song out in the forest, like a light language song. So if you want a couple of experiential things, you can check that playlist out and subscribe to Casey's channel as well, and you can get more of that content as he puts that out. But that's all on YouTube. If you go to the Stir Crazy Shaman channel, click playlist, and then you'll see the one for all the meditations I put together.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff.
Thank you guys so much for being here with us and for experiencing all of this wonderful craziness of today together.
And speaking of craziness, if you want another dose later, Joseph was just saying he's looking forward to the show tonight at midnight. Well, technically, I guess it's tomorrow. Every Tuesday, I do another show called Midnight Meanderings with my buddy Brian, who's out in Hawaii. And the conversation literally goes all over the place. So if you like that, if you like today's style, you'll really like that show too. All right. Well, great. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
Nike. Oh, first time we ever did the Nikes and thank yous together. That was nice. All right. Bye everyone.